They've got to show more dare with ball in hand. And as you can see there, third least in the AFL are getting to that launch zone inside 70 metres. So the challenge for St Kilda today is to play with more dare, open themselves up to be potentially scored against the other way, to try and mark the ball inside the forward 50, or that man will have a day out.
Yeah, Jeremy McGovern, Tom Barrass have been pretty formidable in defence, and they love it, Scully, when the ball is kicked in long like that. And for the Eagles, they've been so different as well for them between their form, both home and away.
Well, yeah, they have been. And just touching on that final two, Tom Barrass and Jeremy McGovern, but they add Harry Edwards as well. Look, the away form's been poor from West Coast. They lost by 99 points away to Adelaide last week. But you look at their form at home, first one against GWS, poor. But since then, they've either been very competitive like they were against Essendon, or they've won. They've won games at home, which this crowd here at Optus Stadium haven't seen in a couple of years. And certainly that has a lot to do with it, the crowd. I heard a lot of players speak this week around their influence, and given it is a young side, they like to listen to what the crowd's got to give them, and it gets them some energy, with Harley Reid there at the back providing a fair bit of it as well.
A 99-point loss for the Eagles against the Crows last week. The Saints have lost their last three, and they arrive in town trying to certainly turn their fortunes around after a couple of really tough weeks. Liam Henry, of course, the former Docker, back in the West and getting set to go. We did think, looking ahead to this week, that the conditions were going to be absolutely atrocious for this game, but it's bright sunshine and ready to go, and a pretty heavy storm is going to roll in a little bit later. But Kingy, Scully, your final thoughts before we get underway?
Well, I think this is a really winnable game for St Kilda. I mean, the key outs being Kelly and Waterman. This is an opportunity for the Saints midfield to get to work. You can see Sinclair going in for this first centre bounce. I think he's critical today. He has to get his hands on the ball. He has to be creative. I think St Kilda have to play with some more dare. And their scores when they've won have been 15 goals, 9 goals and 14 goals. They have to hit somewhere around that mark today.
A couple of big matchups at either end of the ground. Jeremy McGovern's going to play a bit smaller and look to use his craft. And Liam Ryan out of the goal square. He was back to his best a couple of weeks ago. We'll see how he goes as a really deep forward for West Coast today.
Saturday afternoon footy, the Eagles and the Saints from Optus Stadium. It's Williams starting in the ruck. Not Flynn in there for the first bounce. Duggan up to meet it. And crashes through, went through the legs of Sheed. Hoff beelining the footy. And had enough time to get rid of it to Chesser, who pumps it to half forward. He's short of Darling. Bonner can win it away for the Saints. Short to Brad Hill. Of course, knows this ground well from his time with Fremantle. Caminitius, nice strong mark in front. Looks like Edwards has got the match up there. Just his second game for the season. Long high ball goes in. Taylor-made. Just spoke about pre-game for the Eagles' defence. Witherden. Sheed, a poor kick out of defence. Tumbling ball, Caminiti in there. Cripps up to help. Scrappy start to this one.
Well, already Barrass has got the matchup on King. McGovern, as we've scouted, he's looking to drop off and get in front of that matchup.
Marshall down to Reid with the fend. Got away from Dow, but then the handball really didn't go too far. Saints keep it locked inside their forward 50. Sinclair just a high up and under. King's got too many to beat. There was a hold, and it'll be a free kick to the Saints forward. He was outnumbered down there, Max King. Barrass was holding on, and the free kick goes the way of the Saint.
And that's the area they need to really put the West Coast Eagles defenders under pressure. You know, top of the goal square type entries. That was a hack kick forward. It was already inside 50 from a stoppage, but you can create some panic. They're human back there. McGovern and Barrass have been unbelievable all season.
Big opportunity early on for Max King. Good from this spot throughout his career. And after the free kick, he gives the Saints the perfect start on a Saturday afternoon.
I think we're going to see this a lot on the replay. McGovern dropping off into space. Barrass knows he needs to protect his teammate there, and he's doing his very best to do two things here. Protect your teammate, then release early enough to let Max King have a fly at the footy so it's not so obvious it's a free kick, and he's got that timing slightly wrong. Max King, although hasn't been in his career best form, a very, very dangerous forward in this competition. He's got to have a big game today, doesn't he, Kingy? Max King for St Kilda to play well.
Yeah, just bring the ball to ground. I'm not sure he has to necessarily kick 5 or 6, but just be a thorn in the side of those intercept markers.
Bounce to be recalled in the middle. 13th goal of the season for Max King. Again, Williams in the ruck against Marshall. Clearly win the hit out that time. Don't get it out. Way at Sinclair, fisted away by McGovern. Brought to the deck. It's at the feet of a few. Yo throws himself on top of it and get a ball up.
Darcy Wilson's got the Brady Hoff match-up. He's been able to shut down a few. Brady Hoff usually gets the most dangerous forward, so it's a pretty big compliment to the first-year player.
Down by Williams. Yo was strong. Gaff back in the side. His first game since the Eagles' first game. Darling has moved out of the way. The Saints controlled it nicely.
That's what we saw at the other end, wasn't it? The defender protecting someone dropping into that space. Did it pretty well there.
Bonner, long, Edwards up, and smashes it to the boundary.
Harry Edwards back into the side this week for West Coast. He had almost 30 disposals. He's been very consistent in the waffle side for the Eagles. Makes it pretty tall back line for the Eagles, though, with McGovern, Barris and Edwards going at it.
He played the one game previous to this season when Tom Barris was out through suspension. To the front. Williams fighting for it. Reid taken high. Well, the ball's already out of play. So it's going to be called a boundary throw, is it?
Rowan Marshall thinks it's a free kick against him.
Yep, no, the boundary throw, and it is. The ball was already out. The Eagles fans not happy.
I think you can still pay a free kick if the ball's gone across the boundary line. I'm not sure why that's still not a free.
I tend to agree with you, Kingy. As the ball's knocked down. Now she. Good delivery for Ryan. West Coast first real push forward. Yo trying to get out the back towards Darling. The kick was wide into the pocket, though. Poor entry and boundary throwing.
That was a great lead by Liam Ryan on the left foot for Dom Shee. Tucked it back inside, but then forward of the footy, Dougal Howard right on his man in Jack Williams and just allowed no hit up forward to that Elliott Yo entry.
Adam Simpson, Ross Lyon coached against each other a lot over their careers. Also when Ross Lyon was at Fremantle. Ball tapped down. Ross, Williams putting the pressure on. There's a late inclusion for Waterman. Webster under the pump. Wanganeen-Milera got it out. Howard, Ryan slipped the tackle. Got it out. They will escape out of defence, the Saints. A good kick to Owens too. And this is where they can try to turn defence into attack. Long ball and to the front. Barris did enough opposed to Max King. They see it out of danger.
We'll have to get down to Kath Lockman. Saw Jeremy McGovern slip over there. Look, there's been a bit of rain over the past few days here in Perth and a game of soccer last night on the Oval as well. So interesting to see how the Oval holds up.
AC Milan, Roma playing here last night in front of 56,000 people. One ball from Dow, Barris in front.
And that's where Max King is going to be significant. If you can get that ball to ground, then the Saints Smalls can go to work. It's just disappointing you can be intercept marked in that position on the field. He has to find a way to compete better than that.
Applause around the ground for Andrew Gaff. Back in the side after toiling away in the waffle to earn his spot back. It's down towards Reid. And break clear. Get a ball up.
Yeah, you mentioned the surface, Scully. Players were checking it out pre-game, especially the Saints. There have been concerns all season regarding the Optus Stadium surface, hasn't there? And I'm not sure if that friendly last night would have helped.
Williams, tumbling ball forward. The head of Ryan. Webster to bring it to ground. Wilkie, Webster. Now Bonner. A high ball to half forward. Up to meet it, Caminiti. Brought to ground illegally. The arm just trailing over the shoulder from Edwards. That was the footy inside 50. Thumped away from Marshall. Higgins in there. Clark wide, and Barris will intercept again.
Liam Henry's trying to get to McGovern. He's trying to force that matchup. McGovern paying him absolutely zero respect. He's going after the ball in an intercept fashion, which you'd expect. It'll be a tough matchup for the young Saint.
With it in long, and here's Flynn. The former Giant making his Eagles debut.
Going to be really interesting to see how they use Matt Flynn. Adam Simpson pretty cagey during the week how much time he was going to spend in the ruck.
And one game in the waffle after a hamstring tendon injury pre-season. Good intercept there by Wilkie.
Doctor was just running out to lead Duggan. He seemed to be shaking his arm a little bit. He's waved the doctor away, but just keep a watch on it.
Thanks, Kath. Bright sunshine on a Saturday afternoon. Flynn, he's in best position, spills to Clark. Just wobbles a kick forward. And it will find the boundary.
Yeah, the matchup's interesting forward of the footy, but I think around the ball, inside 50s, St Kilda up a little bit. They've possessed the ball. We haven't seen with the Eagles with footy in hand too much to really get a hold of how they're moving the footy.
Flynn controls it down. Clark, Sheed and Steele wrestle through the legs of Ginby. A big bump there laid on Reid. He felt the full contact of that as they went in. He picks himself up, but certainly feeling the effects. As they go in, it was his
Friendly fire.
own teammate in Harry Edwards who backed in. Crunch of bodies.
Not sure it's too much in that either way.
Just looked a little stunned for a sec. He's still going. Sinclair, away to battle, and he can just stump it long from the edge of the centre square. Oh, it goes all the way, but just to behind. It'll look good. He gave it a fair roost from distance.
So St Kilda have got absolute field dominance right now. Kingy, as you spoke about, entries not precise enough at the moment, but they're really owning this end of the ground right now.
Bailey Williams competing. All the Saints at the spill. Sinclair, Marshall, just an awkward kick forward. Bouncing ball, Wilson, taken to the turf by Duggan. Battle kept it in play. Was touched off the boot by Marrick. Higgins in the traffic. Mason Wood up to meet it. Spills to Gaff. Ball kick up the wing under pressure. Only finds Wilkie. Now to Ross. Dominating the territory of the Saints. They want some reward on the score sheet. Big fist away by Barris, but it spills down. Henry looking dangerous. He chips the ball short. Well thought out and finds Wilson.
Well, Kingy, I think you saw that one. That was McGovern's man.
Yeah, they've clearly got a tactic to try and confuse Jeremy on who he's actually opposed to. And he's trying to roll and cover all comers, Jeremy McGovern, and made a price there.
Just caught in between. Lunging for the footy. Opens the door. Wilson very close to the player who was charging at him.
Now, they got the opportunity there, but you could see they had options at the top of 50 for that shallow entry we're talking about. If the Saints are prepared to lower their eyes and just find that 20 to 30 metre pass before they go inside 50 or with a shallow entry, they'll get a better return. A bit lucky on that occasion going inside 50.
Duggan with a long kick out of defence. Flynn from the side. Down to Reid. Shrugs off Steele. A tough thing to do. He usually puts the clamp on. Such is the strength of Harley Reid. And now we see a free kick for over the shoulder. Ross wants to go to half forward. Trips working back defensively. He heard the voice, but he ambled it straight to Mason Wood. Slipped the tackle. Saints lining up again. Bonner attacks it. Now Chesser. Held to him. One arm pin. Not getting rid of it. All up.
Well, that might have been a new interpretation coming in there. Gee, super impressed with how St Kilda are set up behind the footy here, just allowing no exits. 8 inside 50s to 1.
Well, thumped away by Marshall. Dow on the boot. And back to take it is Witherden.
Just seeing a lot of ball movement starting so deep for West Coast, and they're looking for targets. Matt Flynn seems to be the one setting up most of the time.
Out towards Flynn again. One-on-one with Marshall. Spills to Darling. Flynn. Petricelli back from injury. Darling. Up the wing. Poor kick. The Saints set up well. They just can't find a way to get forward of centre. Hill saves the day for the Saints. And now he can get some run and some movement with the kick. Another poor one. Straight down the throat of Flynn, who gets back to help.
Well, that's what we're saying. This really intense and well-organised defence of St Kilda. Been difficult to score against this year, and this is why they're well organised behind the footy.
Evident for McGovern, who was struggling with the sun. Was creeping underneath the roof here at Optus Stadium. And ball kick to Battle. And it locked in their forward half, the Saints. As they go long inside 50 again. Duggan from the side. Higgins was waiting down. Marshall, who's dispossessed. Duggan out of defence. Chesser trying to run. Advantage paid. And it wasn't really there in the end, but it was a skill execution as Bonner pumps it back in and out the back with it.
Well, that's the kick we're talking about. That blast entry from 75 to 80 from goal, it's not going to pay dividends today against the Eagles. They're very well organised behind the ball with those intercept markers. They've got to find an intermediate target before they go long and deep to the top of the goal square.
11 inside 50s to 1 in the first term, but just 8 points on the board for the Saints. Wilkie couldn't mark. Jinby tackled strongly.
Yeah, well, it's been really well called by you, Kingy. The entries are too deep at the moment. St Kilda need to connect in front of the footy first and then go inside.
Owens
Well,
on the way out.
Totally owning the contest at the moment, Saints. 7-3 clearance, and they're defensively organised behind the ball. The Eagles having trouble moving the football.
Yo trying to get some distance on the kick. Battle smothered it down, but Darling kept his feet. And now a quick entry. Long ball towards Williams. Was spun around by Howard and then sent to the boundary line. But just the second inside 50 of the first quarter for the Eagles.
Yeah, that was great craft by Dougal Howard. So he was one-on-one with Jack Williams. Had goal side on his opponent the entire time. Just shuffled his way back and forward. Kept him where he wanted him and killed the ball outside.
And in front. Almost doing his own roving. Ross coughed it up. And it spills back over the line.
First real opportunity for West Coast forwards to get to work at a little inside 50 deal, and first time to really crumb to Matt Flynn. See if he can get some dominance.
Straight down to the front. Big clash of bodies. Gaff. Smothered accidentally by Cripps. Reid trying to push off. Caught. He disposed of it correctly. It's allowed to play. Ryan on the boot with a flying shot. Jack Williams. It hits the ground. Might have been touched off the boot anyway. And it's going to be a ball up.
They're getting away with a couple here, the Eagles. I think the umpire's interpretation is different to what we've seen in the last 2 or 3 games across this round.
The one with Reid in particular. Once you try to take them on, if you get caught, it's normally paid pretty quickly. Flynn with the behind, and the Saints are away. Wanganeen-Milera. A few bounces now to Mason Wood. Driving kick. 2-on-1 favours the Eagles. Membry outnumbered. Cole dropped the mark. Saints on the follow. Socketed forward by Wilson, but McGovern is playing that sweeping role again. Dangerous ball, but found Jinby.
See, ideally off their turnover, the good sides keep going. West Coast hit that inside ball and then no real options, and they're held up again. So this is how St Kilda's getting this field dominance. West Coast either not working hard enough or not quick enough to react off turnover.
Ryan works hard to space. They try the patient approach.
So patient is fine, but the #1 movement there is through the middle and keep going out the other side.
Chesser to half forward. Darling in front's got it. The contested mark gives them the opportunity to go inside 50. He's waiting for an option to present. He goes long. Big pack up. Off hands. Ryan roving. Has he taken high? He was.
As we go in the basket of, you know, did he duck? Did he lose his feet? Did he drop the knees? I think as the forward, you're always trying to draw the free kick. So whether or not that's deliberate or not, it's a definite high free kick, this one. It was called straight away. You will see him lead with the head a little bit, but you've got to be smarter with that as the tackler. Can't leave arms out like that because that's free money for forwards.
Didn't kick a goal last week against the Crows. Liam Ryan. The Saints have done most of the attacking. There would have been a chance for the Eagles to hit back the other way, but a bad miss
First contested mark for Jack Darling for 5 weeks. So that's exactly what they need to see. At centre-half forward, if you can come out and clunk a couple of those, it can correct all issues with ball movement.
Brad Hill working hard. Up to half-back. Good exit by the Saints. High ball, though. Tailor-made for Harry Edwards. He and Barris almost get on each other's road. Edwards went again to lay the smother, but the Saints have got it. Down, duck through the tackle on the boot. Fortunate looking kick for Higgins, but Cole got there just in the nick of time and then won the handball. Barris for Gaff. It's a high blind kick up the wing. Knocked away. Williams. Darling. Dropped the footy. Try to find a way through. Battle. He flung it forward. Really clean for either side. And again, the footy is coughed up.
See how they go off turnover here. So turnover, they go through the middle of the ground. And they'll be looking to keep going this way.
Inhager. Up for Hill. Now through the middle. Poor kick towards Owens, who then lays a tackle on McGovern. Ball shoveled out. Duggan laid a tackle on Winhager. He got it forward. Gaff knocks it back. Cole trying to find a way through. And it releases Jinby. Feeds forward to Duggan. Long entry. 2-on-1 favours the Saints. Cripps put it to ground. Ryan on the follow. Had Sheed in support. Decided to go himself. And he hooks towards goal. But hooks too far.
Great work rate from Leon Ryan there. Had to go and get an out number, or at least correct it, because St Kilda were well organised again. Almost created something out of nothing there.
Now the Eagles turn to get a few repeat inside 50s as Jinby chops it off.
That's the first time they've intercept mark in the mid-zone, just cutting off the Saints' ball movement. There's an opportunity, that repeat inside 50 entry you speak of.
Where they were so good against Melbourne a fortnight ago. Darling competing to ground. No paddle away. Then lays the pressure on Wilkie. Sheed went in low. Flicked it up. Cripps by hand. Slick to Chesser. Gaff drifting in. On his return. Andrew Gaff. He's welcome back.
See, that's really good to see. Andrew Gaff, the veteran. All the players get from everywhere to get around him. He's been toiling away in the waffle, something he hasn't had to do for a large part of his career. You see a bit of a scramble here. Players getting everywhere, and that's the winger. He acts as a defensive mechanism for the Eagles there, but swings onto his right foot and gets a lick. Yeah, it's a really unrewarded position, the wing at times. On any team in the AFL, you've got to go both ways. You get back and help your team, but sometimes you can get forward, kick a goal.
What would that mean to Andrew Gaff after being dropped from the side? A lot of people thinking he might not make it back to AFL.
It would mean a lot. No, Gaffy very well. Played with him for a long time, and he's a hard worker and loves his teammates. So, above all, winning would mean the most to him.
So, Saints dominating early. Now the Eagles just starting to get a bit of momentum. Bouncing ball. Petruccelli. Under control it away from Winhager. A handball over the head. Chesser. Offed it up to Howard. Awkward kick off the left boot. Higgins and Hoff wrestle. Hoff best to recover. Wanting support. Witherden. And he just has to blast it high. Petruccelli brought it to ground. He's first to recover. Straight back in underneath. Steele. Duggan locked up. Ball up.
Pressure's been really good from both sides here at the contest. You can see every time a player gets it, there's not a lot of free running room on this big Optus Stadium at the moment.
Petruccelli sandwiched, and we'll get a ball up.
Bailey, on the meter.
So the inside 50's 12-6. It's dominated by the Saints early.
Play on.
Wilkie, ball thumped away. Wilson out of defence, didn't get a lot on the kick, and Jinby again with another forward half intercept. Short to Duggan. The Eagles skipper can load up. And sends it long. Plenty of Saints defenders. Great mark to Battle.
Well, King, you scouted West Coast at being good in this department, but I think St Kilda's got a pretty good back line in intercept marks as well.
Yeah, they're strong down back. They've been under siege this year. They've had plenty of practice.
Caminiti competing. Marshall, tackle Cole, ball up.
Looking for the Saints to get on top around the clearances. I mean, Marshall had a terrific start to the season. You'd expect him to dictate terms in the ruck.
Tim Kelly for the Eagles. Was drawn from the squad yesterday with a hip problem after the captain's run as that ball sent out of play. Tim Reid back in the side for the Saints.
Barris with a goal. That first part of the game, St Kilda's owned the goal. They're freaking against, but rebounded pretty strongly.
Marshall to the front. Holding free kick goes to the ruck. Poor kick. Showed too much of it to Jones. Just walking backwards as he tried to find Winhager. Now the Eagles can try and find some run. Good chase from Hill. Slippery handball through. Defend. Wilden learning some tricks from perhaps a younger teammate. Away. Cripps to Petricelli on the burst. Now Flynn wants support. Waiting for runners. St Kilda covered it well. Duggan. And Sheed wide, but in the pocket, Yo.
Really good movement through the middle of the ground. Strong, aggressive run and carry from West Coast. A bit more daring than we've seen to start this quarter. And it meant that there was loose players in front of the footy. Matt Flynn decided to hold the ball up, and they connected with that kick, which you've been asking for the Saints to do. Instead of bombing it long, they connect with Matt Flynn, and that's what frees up Elliot Yeo with an open mark inside 50.
He's kicked his most goals in a season since 2019 when he kicked 11. He's firing at number 7 here. Quiet on his return from a groin injury last week. He heaves into that one, but hooks it away for a behind.
It's been a wrecking ball in the midfield this season. Elliot Yeo been terrific at clearances. Starting to get forward. It's a good sign for the Eagles.
Wanganeen-Milera up the line. Early whistle. Free kick. And go to the Eagles. Let's go to Matt Flynn.
Yeah, so Harley Reid and his man. He's going to play on now.
7th disposal coming up for Flynn in his first term with his new club.
He's good around the ground. Matt Flynn can use the footy.
Nice Sheed. Goes wide into the pocket. Darling! Well protected by Jack Williams, who just went under the footy and took the other players with him, allowing Darling to take the mark out the back.
Gee, that was clever from Williams, wasn't it? He knew exactly what was happening in behind him. He knew the Darling had a metre or two, and he just shifted the Saints defender out of the way and disguised it well enough. Wanganeen-Milera. Big opportunity here for Jack.
He's a little unlucky to be out of the side, Jack Williams, showing some promising signs this season. Here's Darling, and he hooks it back magnificently.
Well, it's two of the eldest players in the side. I think Jeremy McGovern's the eldest, but Andrew Gaff and Jack Darling straight after him impacting the scoreboard for the West Coast Eagles. But it was really well called, Kingy. Jack Williams, he does something every game that tells me he's a really smart footballer, and you see him here, he hears the voice, puts a little bit of body on the Zaya Wanganeen-Milera and just creates that space for Jack Darling, who then finishes like an absolute veteran from the boundary.
Adam Simpson spoke about it during the week with Jack Williams about being a young man, but just doing those little crafty things that normally a more experienced player would be able to do.
Ross Lyon be desperate to get to his troops. Kicking the ball at 38% efficiency. No teams kick less than 40% in a quarter this season. Giving themselves a chance.
Now they can burst forward to the stoppage. It's Reid and Yeo. The 1-2 punch, and they go bang! I think it's touched on the line. We'll check the score review.
Score review. Umpire's call is touched or clear. Please confirm.
Review underway.
Really got a fist on it. There's Dougal Howard.
Jeez, he could frame that. It's a big
Review
fist
complete.
on the line.
Looking at this angle, we can see the ball is touched before crossing the back of the goal line. Decision on the scoreboard.
Normally those frame photos are for the big high-flying forward, Scully, but I know your love of defenders.
Yeah, well, defenders they get excited about different things. A big spoil on the goal line might be just that. A beautiful thing.
I think you see the importance of Matt Flynn to this team.
Yeah.
Centre bounce clearance there was terrific. Put them on their path, that speed.
Only playing his 34th game, Matt Flynn. A lot of injuries during his time at the Giants. A big body the Eagles have been searching for in the ruck. And speaking of a big body, there's a good mark taken by King opposed to McGovern.
Yeah, it was a pure one-on-one contest there. Great body work by Max King.
Keep going on down the line. Edwards again with a big spoiler one.
Yeah, he's been impressive, Edwards. He's come into the side. Look, he's a younger Tom Barrass. That's how I'd explain his form and the way he plays. And people haven't seen much footy of him. Big spoiler, can take a contested mark, reads the ball pretty well, but really good defensively. That's why he's in the side.
Marshall and Flynn locked up. Jimby on the boot. Just seconds to go till quarter time. As Reid tries to escape, put to the turf. And that will do it for the first turn. The Saints jumped out of the blocks. They were dominating. The second part of that first turn belonged to the Eagles, and plenty for Ross Lyon to discuss at quarter time for his team. It's the home side. The Eagles leading it by 9 points.
Welcome back to Optus Stadium, where it's 25 degrees and not much of a breeze down on ground level. Perfect conditions for Saturday afternoon footy and perfect conditions to make your return to the senior side and hit the scoreboard. Welcome back, Andrew Gaff. He and Jack Darling, the two goal kickers for the Eagles in that opening term. Max King, the lone goal kicker for the Saints. It is West Coast leading the Saints by 9 points at quarter time. The Saints dominated territory early on, were completely owning the contest, but the Eagles, they have worked their way back into this game. David King, Will Schofield, interesting what you highlighted pre-game, Kingy, about the Saints inside 50 entries, that blast entry from about 70 to 80 metres out from goal. We saw it again multiple times in that first quarter.
Yeah, spot on, Kath. It's a problem for the Saints because they're doing so much right in this game, but their final decision to just smash the ball to a predictable area is not bearing any dividend. 12 inside 50s, just the one mark. They've coughed the ball up time and time again. 5 intercept marks to the Eagles in their defensive 50, so they've got to get this right. There are better options out there than just that. So scan, find a teammate. 15 metres might be the best target for you. You can see their kicking efficiency 42%, but if you have a look at their kicking efficiency in the forward half of the ground, it drops to 23%. You can't win with those numbers.
It's troubling stats for St Kilda. Look, they had real dominance in the first part of that quarter, didn't they? But they just couldn't make the most of it. Jack Steele, touchless in that one in the middle of the ground.
So back in the middle we go. Start of the second quarter. What adjustments will they make? Eagles and Saints from Optus Stadium. Reid was after it. Sinclair was right with him. Steele goes in to get that clearance. Makes an immediate impact as the Saints escape and go up towards the 50. It was just wide of Caminiti. Edwards played it nicely. A professional fumble away to the boundary, and it'll be a throw-in.
Now, he had a perfect handball there, Wanganeen-Milera, just to pop the handball to Jack Sinclair, who was forward of the pack, and you get a high-quality inside 50 entry or even a goal. He could charge the top of 50 and light that up, Jack. That's why he's in the middle. You've got to use your assets.
Quite got the connection working, the Saints. Yo. To Reid. Steele had him. Back for Yo. Scrubs the kick forward. Well collected by Gaff. Trying to release Sheed. Not a lot of room to work in. Now Yo. Better kick up to Darling, who just thumps it on to gain a few more metres.
So this is what we're talking about. You step forward to the ball. Look at Jack Sinclair. He's forward of that pack. If you pop that handball to him, he's stepping 70, 65 from goal and lighting it up. You've got to maintain possession in forward half of the ground and really put the Eagles back 6 under pressure.
Spotted Kingy. Deeper entries to put Eagles defence under the pump. Williams, Yo, tried to fend, caught in the tackle.
Well, I thought that was gone. I mean, he's put the fend out. He's been swallowed up in the tackle. The memo get all the way to Perth this week, perhaps, did it?
The snail mail just takes a little bit
Was
longer.
flown over by Aussie the Eagle and then flying around the stadium, still waiting to get here.
The carrier Eagle still got it with him. Bailey Williams down, Sinclair lost it, Dow lost his footing, but released with a good handball to Steele. The kick shallow though, bouncing ball up for Barris, happy to be taken over the line.
That forward handball that you mentioned before, Kingy, that's modern football, that forward handball. It wasn't a part of the game 4 or 5 years, but the best sides do it. It's why St Kilda hasn't been one of the best sides in the comp, because it allows you to get a deeper entry. Those sorts of handballs, it takes it into the best user's hands closer to goal.
Marshall down, Yo with strength being held.
And just banging it inside 50 like you've been highlighting, that's old school footy too.
There goes Reid. Looping ball over the top, wants it back. Duggan gave it to him, crashes through, taken to ground, ball up. Just telegraphed a bit too much.
Everyone thinks every time Harley Reid gets the ball now, there's going to be 3 fend-offs in the goal.
He's capable. Taken to ground that time, Bonner. Through, Marshall to Sinclair. Now he can get it and move. And a good kick too for Henry. Open forward line for the Saints. Wilson was doubling back, but the good option was over the back to Mason Wood.
So that kick to the top of 50 gives you this opportunity. A high-quality entry. You've got back-leading wingmen, half-forward types. You've got forwards coming at the ball. That is exactly what the Saints need. It's amazing what happens when the ball is in the hands of a couple of good users, Henry and Sinclair.
Better connection going inside 50. Leads to a much better result for the Saints as Mason Wood kicks the goal.
Just makes it so much easier to connect with your forwards when you're making that entry from the launch zone right at the top of the 50. So it's a brilliant kick here by Sinclair, connecting right on 50. And look how open this looks now. And it's a real mismatch outside with Mason Wood. And Mason Wood started as a forward and he's pushed up onto the wing. He's clearly increased his aerobic capacity and makes it really difficult to match up on Chesser that time from the West Coast Eagles.
The kick from Sinclair renders those intercept markers useless. They've lost contain of their direct opponent. They're out the back and gone, and that's why he's such a critical part of everything they do in the midfield. St Kilda, the number 35 there, matched up on Elliott Yard.
Marshall against Williams in the middle. Reid threw his boot at it, poked it back to Williams. And now Sheed off that left boot for Jack Williams. Green ball. Bonner. Up to Mason Wood. Working hard. The defensive half-back now. Spiked down by Sheed. Chesser held up.
Good work rate from Dom Sheed there to get over and support. St Kilda come out this quarter looking a lot more lively, taking it on now.
Reid trying to shove there on Dow. He gets it back from Duggan. And a high ball. Howard. Great positioning, good strength, and good timing just to nudge Jack Williams out the way.
He's been brilliant so far in this game, Dougal Howard.
Finds Sinclair again, who can distribute through the middle. To Hill, to Wanganeen-Milera. Clear space in front. To the top of the 50, delayed the kick and placed it perfectly. Again, not blazing away the Saints, thinking their way through it. And now Caminiti's got a shot at the top of the square.
This kid is untapped what Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera is going to do for this football club right now. We're just seeing him start to take some steps into the forward half of the ground. This is where I want to see him play long term. Centre forward. Look at that vision. Preparedness to take that extra 3 or 4 steps to guarantee the mark at the top of the goal square.
And the Saints go from one end to the other. And Caminiti finishes it off and gives the Saints the lead.
They're well on top here, the Saints. There's no doubt about that. They've got their ball movement humming now. Ross Lyon have been desperate to get down there at quarter time just to restore the faith in what they're doing around the ball. They've been really strong. Marshall's taking control. And just here, just a better decision-making, stepping forward to centre. Look at McGovern. He can't relocate to an opponent. You got Owens free, charging to the top of the goal square, and Caminiti back leading. There's options everywhere.
Can't be understated. Just what that extra 2 or 3 steps, the vision from Wanganeen-Milera to hit that kick. It's just brilliant. Not many players can do that.
Caminiti goalless last week. His first goalless game of the season. He gets one in the second term here. Jimmy and Reid. And a high tackle. Saints roll back in defence. Reid's just going to bowl it long. Looking for a target. Wilkie attacked it. Windhager, Wood, Howard. Back for battle. Up and under. Not going to clear the 50. Wilkie committed. Hoff up to meet him. Higgins quickly. Windhager tackles. It's knocked on. Cripps working in a tight spot. Still able to get a kick forward, but to no avail. Out of bounds on the full.
Starting to see St Kilda be able to move the footy from situations like this. This is a deep win back of the footy. Be a long down the line kick. They can't move anything through the middle now.
King. Oh, terrific mark.
Wow. Love seeing him work up the field. Give his defenders something to hit on the wings.
An extra reach. Henry was held on to. Tug of the jumper there.
Yeah, was there.
Witherden certainly spotted.
Yeah, good call.
Even though Henry was trying to push Witherden out, Witherden had his jumper. Now Clark. They've chipped their way to about 55. They go longer this time to the square. Petruccelli, McGovern down there. Higgins, McGovern. Higgins wrenched it out, and he was taken to the turf.
Kingy's got a direct line to Ross's box apparently, because again St Kilda connect at the top of the 50, and I know they don't get a mark, but it was in a dangerous position.
Hill was looking dangerous at the stoppage. Rush couldn't find him in the ruck and get another ball up.
Bonner off the back of this stoppage in a really aggressive position.
Quinn down, steal, smothered. Edwards saving the goal with the smother.
It's because West Coast Eagles have collapsed in. They've effectively got 3 players outside 50 here, so they've flooded numbers back, which allows Bonners to sit off the back of this contest.
Marshall front spot. Steele went through. Membry, Brad Hill bobs up, and again waiting back there. Saw some goalkeepers on this turf last night. It was Edwards who can send it out. Now the Eagles. Petruccelli, poor handball, missed Hoff. Rusty back into the side. Sheed was clean. Got it to Cole, to Gaff, and they escape, but there's nothing forward. And Wilkie can take a good intercept.
That's the result of putting your forwards up to a defensive stoppage like that. West Coast have got nothing forward, so you can't play quick like that off the back of a transition play, especially with St Kilda set up so well behind the footy.
Wilkie will share with Battle. St Kilda dominating the first part of this second term. Slipping over a bit was Membry. Lost it a touch in the sun as well, perhaps. The Saints out momentarily. Now the Eagles' numbers arrive. Chesser, he lost his footing too. Sheets just picking himself back up off the floor. It worked out okay. He kicked forward though. Spills away. A few players there just struggling to keep their feet.
It's in the sun out there as well. Cal Wilkie's covering a lot of ground out there at the moment. He's trying to play that roving in quarterback position behind the footy to cut off those balls from the West Coast Eagles.
13 marks to zip in this second quarter. Saints controlling the footy. Reid looking for another high tackle. Locals aren't happy with the non-call.
We'll see that continue to increase as his career goes on.
Sinclair gaining some territory. Clean pick up initially. Eagles just had the extra number. Cole back. Sinclair knocked it down, and it's out and over.
St Kilda's intensity around the footy. Kingy looks gone up a level after quarter time.
Weren't doing a lot wrong bar their selection and their ball use in the first term, to be fair. They've been pretty strong around the ball all day.
No advantage going to St Kilda.
Yeah.
I'm sort of looking around, wondering who the free kick was for initially. So it's been brought back, and he's with Marshall. He's allowed the Eagles a little bit more time to get back. Barris down low. As he juggled the mark, he has. About 4 bites at it.
Well, broken record here, but that needed to connect a little shallower, because a deep kick like that, Tom Barris read it off the boot, does what he likes.
Edwards with the long kick. Jones, battle, and steamroll his way through. Now Jimby. Off, wanting to take them on. Jones is sore. Right in the zone, trying to get back to his feet. He's bounced up now. And free kick, the play will stop. This is a free kick with a push in the back. Will come to Gaff.
West Coast needed that, because they're just losing all sorts of structure in front of the footy. So they're going to have to go into a kick-mark footy here, because St Kilda really well organised defensively, forcing them into things they don't want to do.
Gaff's kick. Flynn, a presence. Couldn't hang on. Jones dispossessed. Thrown out of it. And the free kick will come back to Jones. No, St Kilda. The initial call
Holding West Coast.
from one umpire was the West Coast, but goes to the Saints. Marshall being held on to.
Saints are doing this well, just making the Eagles defend for long periods here. That's mark 14 for the quarter. The Eagles just taking the 2. No control in their game at the minute.
Bonner's kick long. Barris. Another intercept for him.
Dom Sheed's heading down into the change rooms with the team doc, so we'll chase that up.
Thanks, Kath. Keep you updated as we know more. Ball long. Battle spiked it. Steele and Cripps. Get a ball up.
Broken nose last week for Dom Sheed in about the final 10 seconds of the match. I don't think it'll be related to that.
Flynn down. Yo. And some close attention from Clark, and get another stoppage. Gaff. Oh, couldn't take it down low. Just shovels the footy out. Petricelli, just a little fumble as he went searching for it. Scrambling back in again. We'll have to play for a while. We'll get another ball up.
I think optically, those sorts of plays there are what fans aren't loving at the moment. Just scrambling on the ground. Pull that a little bit quicker. Get them moving again.
Steele. Very quiet in the first quarter, but getting busier. Barris for the spoil. Spills to Cole. Now to Hoff. Wants some running support. Gaff just patrolling out on the wing. Feed the handball back through. Hoff will drive it long. In towards Williams.
Bailey Williams, we haven't seen him play as a key forward, sole forward, for 2 years. They've been trying to get him as a forward, but they haven't had a ruckman. So he's been playing as a ruck. Today is the first game we've seen him as a pure outright forward, and that's the first big mark we've seen from him. Yes, his opponent goes to ground, but he's in a good spot there. Deep entry from Hoff, and Bailey Williams, he's been dying to play as a forward. I know that for sure.
Most he's ever kicked in a season is 6. We don't know what he is capable of inside the forward 50. We've been wanting him in there. Have a bigger presence. And Bailey Williams kicks the goal.
Well, this is against the run of play for the Eagles, because St Kilda have just dominated this quarter, but a little bit lazy from defenders. So West Coast bring it through the middle of the ground. Bailey Williams just goes up and gets it, doesn't he? Andrew Gaff held pretty good width to get that footy. Yo to Hoff through the middle of the ground. Certainly that looks like the avenue to goal today for both sides. If you can get that footy inside the launch pad and get it to your key forwards, goals are going to be aplenty tonight.
Again, it comes from the work of the key defenders. Barris, the big spoil in the middle of the ground to give his Crummers a chance to win the ball back for the Eagles.
So 3 goals from turnovers for the Eagles. And Sinclair trying to clear it out. To meet it, Owens. Shared it with Wilson. Cole ran over the top awkwardly. Spills back to Owens. Long ball in. King judged it nicely. But just couldn't hang on. Barris recovers. McGovern. And then Duggan. First term, Saints dominated for the first 10 minutes. And the Eagles were started to be able to wrestle a bit of the control back. Battle. I'm really wanting to go for it as the ball was coming in. Barris able to see it to the boundary.
The Eagles just happy to get it out of that defensive 50 area. They've had 14 opportunities today to get their game going from the D50 and haven't gone inside 50 once yet. Need to find some more shorter targets as they've lost their marking game in this term.
Tom Sheed on the boundary again. Maybe just holding on to the beat there a bit after that broken nose last week. Chess up and out of play.
Yeah, he was only down in the rooms for a couple of minutes, so he looks okay. Hopefully coming back on soon.
That's work as well for Jack Steele.
You wouldn't think it's easy playing with a broken nose. I particularly think that's great preparation.
Caminiti on the boot. Membry held front position nicely, won the contest, brought it to ground, and Henry can help himself on his return to the West.
This is Tim Membry's goal, Kingy, I think, to be able to fight and get this one to ground. That's what you need in front of the footy, don't you? That contested work. Have a look at this. It comes out, scramble ball goes inside, but Jeremy McGovern would usually mark that, but just bring it to ground, let your small forwards go to work. Liam Henry, who missed a fair bit of time with a hamstring injury. He was looking fantastic before he had that injury and just starting to find his feet again. Great addition to this St Kilda side. He's got a bit of class, doesn't he?
Yeah, spot on, Scully. Look at their defensive unit for the Eagles, and they want to intercept mark that ball. They've taken 6 intercept marks in the defensive 50 already today. But if you can get it to ground, those smalls can hunt, and they're so dangerous at ground level. I think he's been a great acquisition. So not seeing it just yet. We've only just seen little bits and pieces across the start of 2024, but he's going to be a ripper for the Saints going forward.
Part of Fremantle's Next Generation Academy, traded into last season. Kicks a vital goal for the Saints. The Eagles get the clearance out of the middle. Battle with strength, but it bounced off his chest. Cripps couldn't handle it. Coughed it up. Howard, Bonner, Sinclair. They're trying to run it out of defence. All the way wide to Higgins.
Big quarter, Sinclair, 10 disposals. He's the one. 4 score involvements. It's the most important Saints midfielder today.
Ribbon to the front. Could have been held away. Membry. Look out there. Spear tackle from Jeremy McGovern.
I enjoyed that, Jeremy.
Well, how good was that? It was good technique, wasn't it? It didn't put him on his head.
Bit of WWE about this.
He went bang. Hit him with the spear. Ragdolled his opponent in the way. They cough up the footy straight away after the moment of excitement.
Oh, look out.
Coughed up, turnover, dangerous spot. Duggan, long, missed the kick. Jack Williams trying to get back. Wilkie for company, soccers it back. It can't roll through. Howard saves it. Now, it's not deliberate because Howard touched it before it went over the line, even though Wilkie socked it from outside 9 metres.
This opportunity from Liam Duggan there on his left, his favourite foot. Jack Williams was wide open.
That ball had rolled over without Howard touching it. It would have been a free kick paid. Here's Mason Wood. Up the line, Barris pumps it away.
He has been an absolute wall back there, Tom Barris. He has just continued his form from last week. Kept Tex Walker goalless from every minute he played at him last week. Still a good forward in this game, Tex Walker, and he's continued his form today.
Barris and McGovern, brothers of destruction back there. As it's knocked down. Williams tackled, Reid won it. There's the headband at the same time. Gaff. Long ball, Ryan from the side. Battle scooped it up. Wanganeen-Milera to Windhager. Game just going up a notch or two in intensity. Jinby went back hard into Marshall. Spills to Reid. Always tries to take them on. Just swivels out of the tackle. He sets up Ryan and into the pocket for Cripps. Again, the balance and strength from Harley Reid on show.
And he was ready for it, Sinclair. He was already looking to swipe the leading fending arm. He went into his swipe early and forgot the tackle. He spun straight through him. Look at him here, Sinclair. He's ready to go. And then he just breaks it, just too strong.
Well, and then the vision. I think that's the better thing about that play. The vision didn't blaze away, lowered the eyes, and again allows West Coast to connect inside 50.
Cripps with the opportunity from the tough angle. A reliable set shot. Guides it back perfectly. West Coast pinched the lead back.
Jamie Cripps, for a very long time in this Eagles side, has been one of their most consistent players. We call this one the Jamie Cripps Cup. He started his career at St Kilda, and he plays that role for West Coast, an unrewarded one, high half forward. But when he gets his opportunities, make no mistake about this one, this is a really difficult set shot. 48 metres out and a pretty significant angle. Never looked like missing. Great goal. They needed it, West Coast.
Since the stat has been kept since 2013, the most broken tackles players had through their first 10 games. Harley Reid with 29. Next best, Sam Pepper with 13. And Artie Jones as well with 13.
The Bulls, Sam Pepper and Harley Reid.
Harley Reid 29. Pepper 13 through the first 10.
So he's been good.
Well, that stat only since 2013. So a little similar to the first term. St Kilda dominate early, then West Coast fight their way back into it. Ginby to Reid, out of the centre. High kick, wide, Ryan. Well done by Webster. Lunging spoil to see it out.
That's terrific by Webster. Didn't lose his feet, playing against probably a quicker opponent in Liam Ryan, but just stayed right with him, no holds. Great defence.
We're inside 50s the last 10 minutes. Bit more territory. The Eagles, here's Reid. Tackle, Dowd, got him, dumped him to the turf. Great tackle, Jones spinning through. Cleared a path, won the footy. Snap to goal. Rookie waiting back. He saves it on the line.
So they've lifted the Eagles around the contest, around the clearance. Far more aggressive. Looking to charge straight through the Saints. Out the front door.
Windhager. High ball. Owens wanting to leap. Cole the spoil. Marrick's handball. Higgins rocketed it back to Wilson. Owens tapped it on. Cole, Marrick working in a tight spot. Steele couldn't handle it. Sheed, Marrick with it. A tough footy to hold on to. Ginby, his kick smothered. Well done, Windhager. Reid putting the pressure on. And he shoves Ross out the way to allow Jones to win the footy. Kick by. And it'll roll its way towards the boundary line. Wilson probably didn't need to keep it in there. Probably thankful that it went out. We get a boundary throw.
Certainly, I think just across the board, intensity of the game's picked up. Both sides look under pressure at times, but been able to move the footy as well. West Coast with a little bit of dominance right now.
Out the back, Reid. Reid hit it with pace and just blasting the ball. Made good connection. High one, Ryan. In the middle of the pack, he went to ground. Wilkie, battle, Wood, Webster. Not much at half back. And up the line to space, off. Trying to take them on, tackled over. Well, judged by Higgins not to get stepped, and it's out of play.
It's really a game of two halves right now in each quarter. So St Kilda have dominated the first part of each quarter, and West Coast seem to be coming back into it. It's on the back of their defence, actually, but both sides setting up well behind the goal.
Reid, on toe poke, wants to get body contact on Mason Wood. A little dangerously the way he attacked it, but you just love the competitive nature. Marshall shoved it across and holding the ball to call.
He is just manhandling them at the moment. This guy. This is disposal 16 coming up. He's gone to a new level with physicality and challenging his teammates to come with him.
He's 19 years of age. Harley Reid, long. Williams got the fly. Clark. Owens back there. Dangerous handball back. Steele over the top. Jones harassing. Owens kick smothered. Now Wanganeen-Milera can go with pace too as he takes them on and splits the gap. Gets it rolling, but Barris can slide in. Didn't mark. Memory a chance. Tackle by Yo. Barris back into it again. Dispossessed in the tackle. McGovern. He coughed it up. Saints a chance. Look away handball. Henry creative. Higgins to finish. But hooks badly.
We've got a contest on our hands here. This is a cracker. Both teams just fighting for everything, trying to get through on counter-punch. That was terrific from McGovern to strip that ball back, but the Saints just kept on fronting up. This is a great battle.
How good was the run from Wanganeen-Milera?
I would have liked to have seen him keep going. I reckon he had McGovern covered.
Just a touch, probably, in foot speed as Marshall wins it back. Another entry. And Cole across to help.
Well, it's another entry, but it's another defensive intercept mark in the D50. It's not good enough. You've got to be able to kick those targets at this level. You have to be able to connect with your forwards.
15 for Witherden. He had to know it was play on. The umpire was right next to him, screaming in his ear, and caught holding the ball.
Now that's poor. It really is. It's going to be better than that, Alex Witherden. But good front up tackle there by Steely. He's a tackle machine. Loves that facet of the game. It's a big kick. Saints need this one. They've struggled the last 10 minutes or so.
Tough kick. Off the boundary. That left forward pocket. Gives it a good ride. And it holds its line into the post. It wasn't far away. St.Kilda with more of the footy in this second term. That's the Eagles with a 2-point lead. They led it by 9 at quarter time. McGovern with the kick-in duties. They go long more often than not. Williams. Ricky gave him a nudge forward. And it's out at home. Ball's gone out of bounds on the full.
Well, it was stuck between his legs.
So it's going to be a free kick to the Eagles. You don't see one like that too often, King.
Well, that was strange because I'm not actually sure he kicked the ball. I think it was just stuck between his legs.
Touching his legs as it went over.
Bizarre.
Harley Reid with the 7 clearances already. Ball just kept in play, and then Sheed handballs it straight over. Baller will be thrown in.
Oh, look here. The ball gets stuck between his legs.
Yeah, he's carried it over.
Yeah, I don't think that's a free kick at all.
I'm not sure. We'll have to check the rule book on that one.
Carried it over the boundary line, hasn't he?
With his feet, though.
Yeah.
Sheed. Send another memo around. As the ball's tapped away. I see it thrown in.
Well, it's been a good comeback here. The Eagles have lifted. There's no doubt about that. They've around the action. They've been terrific in this last 10 minutes, making the Saints work for everything. Harley Reid in this term up to 12 disposals.
Steele knocked it away. Sheed. Gaff. Either side of one. Go late. Reid just steamrolls over the top of Sinclair. And that Gaff. It's a physical game out there right now.
I think you feel that. You feel that hit. The slap of bodies. Look at this. Getting in the way of a runaway train.
Face to face. Smack straight in. Reid goes again.
What a player.
Some sort of term. He's up to 17 disposals for the match. 7 clearances as well, Harley Reid. And the 3 wins that the Eagles have had, he's had 7 clearances. He's got it already. It's not even half time. Close in on half time. Flynn down. Sinclair spills to Sheed, stabs the ball in. He wanted Ryan. Close to the boundary, delayed the handball, created the space. Cripps from the pockets. Such a well-thought-out goal. Liam Ryan attracting the crowd and Jamie Cripps working the angles.
That is amazing. What a talent this guy's been for a long period of time. He just knows where they are at all times. Liam Ryan's been really important in that forward half, setting up score after score. But that finish there, that is just complete wizardry. Hard up against the paint. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he loved it off the boot. Gets the fans involved. Good contest here.
Handy goal just before the major break. 2 goals now for Cripps in the game. Last 10 minutes, the Eagles dominating the clearances. Free kick will go the Eagles' way. Reid wants to take advantage, but certainly none there as everyone had stopped. Rashid. Disposal number 16 coming up for the half. Was quiet last week with just the 6. Long ball. Darling crashed the pack. Ball hit the deck. Liam Ryan set up the last one. Now he helps himself. Back-to-back goals just before half-time for the Eagles.
See, they've finished the quarter strong, haven't they? First term and second. 4 of their 6 goals have come in effectively red time, time on. Terrific play. And again, just the power of that ground ball winning your forward 50. It's been everywhere, Liam Ryan. He's had 8 disposals. 5 of those have become scores because of where he gets the ball. 5 of those disposals inside the forward 50. Always dangerous.
Missed a lot of footy over the last 12 months. A couple of serious hamstring injuries. Liam Ryan. And the crowd have woken up. Harley Reid dominant in that quarter. The Eagles finishing it strongly in the second term. And as we head to the major break, good contest in the West. It's the Eagles leading by 14 points.
See that first half dominated early in both quarters, but then the Eagles just worked their way back into it.
Yeah, for sure. Inefficient, particularly the first quarter. Thought Harley Reid lit him up with about 6 or 7 clearances and 12. So we'll put time into him. Windhager will sort of match him up and try and quieten him. And we just thought, get our backs running more. It's just a bit stagnant. So that was disappointing. But it just feels like it's a high stoppage game. We want to get flow and run into it. So don't be distracted by the scoreboard, but bring some excitement with our run from behind and take care of Harley. And when we do get opportunities, we've just got to be more efficient.
Did you talk much about your inside 50 entries at quarter time?
Yeah, look, it was frustrating, wasn't it? It was long and it was straight. Or we shifted it lateral and turned it over. Some of the turnovers are undefendable, so that is frustrating. It sort of gets you rolled up a little bit. But the first bit we delayed it, we turned it over, but in the second, like we had 4 entries. We just didn't get enough entries. Most of their stoppages come out of centre entries, about centre square bounce and midfield stoppages. So they didn't have a lot of flow except off our turnovers. So tidied it up, get some run and start winning some clearances.
You need to get upstairs. Cheers, Ross.
Thank you.
Ross line there, some pretty clear messaging. Harley Reid will have to deal with a tag in this second half. Windhager going to him. The battle is on. Second half, Optus Stadium, Saturday afternoon footy in the West. The Eagles by 14 points as Windhager, well, he took Reid to ground as the high kick goes inside 50. Higgins battling off the spike away.
Saints win the first clearance and they need to get that rolling again. They'd lost the last 11 prior to that. Reid won 7 in the first half. Yo the 6. So good to see them get busy early in this third term.
So a new challenge for Harley Reid will be the watch as he gets some closer attention. Marshall flicks it over the back. Reid went in to bump Owens. Ball spills. Higgins trying to shovel it out. Henry was good. Went through the legs of McGovern. Sheed got it out to Jinby. Waiting in support was Duggan. Under pressure. The kick didn't go too far. Clark went the fend, lost the footy, holding the ball.
Good decision. Took the tackler on. Didn't dispose of it correctly.
Dangerous ball to half-back, but Cole's got it. And wants to continue to go wide to Hoff. Will we see the game open up a bit more in this second half? Marek is able to control it in the end to Jones, who retreats to go forward. High ball, shallow entry. Williams from the side. Marshall caught one across the face as Williams flew for that footy, and it'll be locked in.
That's remarkable talking about Harley Reid like we do, and the head coach of the opposition. Talking about him half-time, what player he is.
Ryan, knocked out of it by Windhager. Sinclair providing some drive for the Saints. Barris racking up the intercept marks.
Max King's got to get that to ground. Can't allow Tom Barris to do what he likes back there.
Stand. Straight out, Max. Okay, Max. Play on.
A long kick from Duggan. And Jack Williams. And he got rid of his opponent legally.
Well, it's good body work.
Got it.
It was really good body work. The timing was spot on. Just shifted him at the point of launch there. Marshall was about to drive his feet into the ground and go after that ball into the air, and he just nudged him at the right time. You'll see it here on the replay, bottom left of screen. Just as he's about to set for the mark there, he just puts the hands in the back and shifts him enough.
Maybe a flick of the finger on the way through from Marshall. But Williams paid the mark. He's into the run-up and stays on the right-hand side.
He's a really promising talent, Jack Williams. 198 centimetres tall. As I said earlier on in the commentary, just does a few things each game where you think he can really play footy. Once he gets a hold of his body, it's going to be a prospect for West Coast.
Wilkie. Up the line. Cole wrestling with Wilson. And carried forward in the tackle. Cole went back to win it. Chesser in and under Higgins. Good hands on the up to Henry. Now for Hill, who can try to get them running. Long ball. King's there. Owens trying to read it out the back. The Eagle fell over. The Saints get their feet, and they will waltz it into the open goal. Seb Ross.
This is what we've been asking for from the big key forwards at St Kilda, is bring the ball to ground. So this is just two one-on-ones together. McGovern gets his timing all wrong there. But the two St Kilda forwards keep their feet and they kick a goal from it. If you can bring the ball to ground against this West Coast back line, you can kick goals, but you must do that first. Otherwise, these kicks intercepted, and we've seen it during the game so far. If you can't bring them to ground, then there's no use in doing them. You'd be happy with this, Kingy?
Well, we've seen back-to-back 50-50 free kicks let go by the umpire. Hands in the back at one end, hands in the back at the other. But they come up with a goal due to the work rate of Sebastian Ross to hit the goal square and challenge the opposition wingman and Jimby to get back with him. Leapfrog effect. Great play, Saints.
3 goals from their defensive half. They're one of the best in the comp at doing that. The Saints turning defence into attack as Clark goes back in underneath.
Don't hold! Don't hold!
The trend of the game has been St Kilda's starting quarters well. Reid. Heavy attention from Windhager, couldn't break free.
Well, that's his task. Ross Lyons said, get out there and clamp that young fella who's running amok. 17 disposals in the first half. Harley Reid, he's been everywhere.
Trying to use his strength that time, Reid, opposed to Windhager, and it'll be locked back in again.
Perhaps what you're telling me his highest clearance was in the game before this one?
7.
Oh.
And he had 7 to half-time, Harley Reid.
Now he needs his teammates to support him. Put some blocks on, see if he can help with that tag.
Through the legs that time. Windhager, well, that was Yo trying to help out, but a bit overzealous. And the physicality takes him high.
I think you'll find Elliot Yeo will be the one that goes and tries to support Harley. They've been trying to work in tandem a lot, these two mids, as Harley Reid sticks around to help Elliot Yeo off the ground. His man's run forward here.
The long ball. Windhager, it's that shallow entry, though, for St Kilda and Jimmy. And now Mark Ross. Edwards for Jones. Just to cut back through the middle to Reid. Playing the handball around his own player, then kicks the ball wide for Chesser.
Darling's out the back. Wilkie plays it pretty well. Now set up behind the footy, St Kilda.
Well back in numbers, the Saints. A lead from Darling. And 2 to beat. And easy enough for Wilkie to swallow.
It was just so well played. I zeroed in on him a little bit because of the way Darling was moving. He played it well.
Webster. High ball bounces just short of King. And strong tackle from Edwards, rolling him around. Have another look at it. Those are the ones that can be a little dangerous, both with legs getting caught up and heads hitting the turf. Here's Marshall. A high ball up and under. Edwards as though to hold King underneath it. King's recovery good. Ball dispossessed. Henry attacking it with pace. And the delivery to Caminiti. Good spoil Barris. Caminiti on the follow. Ball hits the deck. McGovern, Barris couldn't get it worked out. And Owens locks it in.
Gee, that was a big tackle by Tom Cole coming in there. He's holding the bridge of his nose. Caminiti tried to take it on. Got his arms free of the tackle. Great contest from both players.
Marshall in the ruck to Henry with pace, bursting away. Liam Henry hits the post.
Well, the mids for the Saints have responded. They won 5 of the first 6 clearances in this term. We touched on they'd lost the previous 11 going to half-time. This is a good fight back.
Eagles by 8. Hoff. Not a lot of movement up the wing. Darling presents. Saints get back in numbers. Battle in the hole. Able to see it away to help out Wilkie.
Yeah, this is a tight contest now. We've got Windhager matched up on Reid in the middle. Jack Steele got really busy in the second quarter. Dom Sheed, I think, has been put to him to try and quieten him down.
Well early, and then, as you said, Steele started to get his way into the game. Windhager, Sheed there with Steele again. Jinby up for Gaff. Tumbling ball. Gained some metres. Boundary throwing.
It's a meterage game, this one. Who can own the field position, who can get their defence set up behind the ball and then let their mids go to work, because if you can do that, especially in modern footy, but this game in particular, that's what's getting it done. Can you get field position and hold it?
Marshall with strength, the post to Flynn. Gaff attacking it with intent. Taken to ground.
Just fascinating watching Reid versus Windhager. He's enjoying the physicality, Reid. Windhager knows the challenge that's in front of him. It's a ripper.
Wants to get some separation. Windhager wins that little battle. Marshall a bit sore. There's enough pressure there. Reid will enjoy that as he goes back at Windhager. Flynn and Marshall sort themselves out.
So we were watching that. I was watching the umpire. It was a millimetre away from being a free kick there.
Which way?
Against Jack Steele. I would like to see them let go, as the umpire did in the end.
Gaff to half forward. Marrick from the side. Created the contest. Knocked it down to Cripps. Kick smothered by Sinclair. Down. Pinches it back. Battle. Sinclair. Up the line. Caminiti in front. McGovern closed late. Knocked down. Sheed will get a free for a hole. The kick was a poor one with Wood. Cruising back, able to knock it down. Dow, Wilkie get involved. Now Wood to the 50. Barris back, but he disrupted it and allowed the Saints. And they're going to run it into goal again. This time, Max King. 2 goals. They just roll through the square.
Well, it's that ball coming to ground again. Tom Barris tries to back himself in, gets mucked around with a key defender in Harry Edwards. Let's have a look at this one.
Bunnings build up here, and the Saints winning it at half-back and get going.
Just look at Henry. He's the one, he's at high half-forward. He's almost the half-back flank. Duggan doesn't go with him, and he just commits to a full length of the ground run. That is outstanding play, and that's why you attract those sort of players to your football club.
Been such a great addition, Liam Henry. I liked him over here in the West when he was in Freo colours. St Kilda clearly did as well. I think we still haven't seen the best of him, Saints fans. And that sort of run and that sort of hard work is what he's at the club to do.
Max King now with a couple in the game. The Saints again starting the quarter well. Go back in to win it. Right, contact free goes the Saints way.
And we get some ball from centre bounce this quarter as well, St Kilda.
Disposal number 13 coming up for Doubts. Taken high there by Flynn. Long ball inside 50. Barris up again. The ball hit the deck. Wilson's kick smothered. Ginby. Barris. Out to Hoff. Closed down. Great work rate from Brad Hill.
Brilliant. Absolutely. Team first footy from Brad Hill. We know he can run and carry and do all the things out in the wing, but getting in there and putting a smother on gives his team another opportunity, another chance at a forward 50 stoppage.
Saints have started the turn well. Good intensity. It spills open for Owens. Kicks the ball into a dangerous spot. Barris has to control things and just guided the kick onto the chest of Gaff.
Nothing in front of Gaff here either, so that was a must-win footy for Andrew Gaff. He'll have to hold it up here to see if the West Coast can get some numbers down the line.
High kick towards Darling. Marrick in the middle of them all. Look least likely for it, as Reid now has been pushed forward just to try to break possibly a bit of that tag. He leads up to take it. He's going to send it long. He stabs the kick in. Ryan over the top. The Eagles have numbers at the spill. Cripps left up the handball. Darling back in. Aggressive kick in from Reid.
Yeah, it was a little shank off the instep a little bit, but he was trying to provide some penetration, get it in there quickly.
Flynn at the stoppage. Clark around his body. Wanganeen-Milera couldn't take it down low. Get it back though. Instead of taking it out, the Eagles, the Saints a chance to escape with it. Wood through the corridor. It opens right up now. Membry to Bonner. King's out the back. The kick goes in long. It's just a little wide. Half a chance. Barris runs him down. Just needed to hit King on the full, and the Eagles escape.
Great play. Great scrambling defence there. He's been enormous today, Barris.
High kick from Duggan. Flynn to the front. Hoff arches the back. Over the top for Jack Williams. Now the Eagles going around the boundary. Kicking board. Yo, good takedown low. We're seeing some good skills on show at times from both of these teams. Still quite a lot of turnovers, such as the pressure in the game.
Yeah, it was more than the option by Jack Williams there. He looked ahead. There was 3-on-1 in front of him, so he had to pull something through the middle, and he did. Centimetres off. It just looks like that at both ends with this quick transfer of play. Both good defences behind the ball. When players look up, they can't go too quickly. You've got to be able to connect, take a little bit of time, then you can defend behind the footy.
Ginby and then Dow. Able to break clear. Great stoppage work from the Saints. Hill darting back onto that right boot. Wants to share it now with Clark. Chipping ball. Good vision for Membry. Plenty of leads on the way. And Wilson.
Great work. Great work there. The short use forward to centre as he lights it up.
He wants to play on. He switches it across to Wanganeen-Milera.
Yeah, this is great composure here from the Saints. Played two straight line, too long early. Ross Lyon touched on that with Kath Lochner at half-time. They've changed the angles to a Mason Woods kick moments ago back into the corridor. They want to be aggressive, ball in hand.
Boys, not sure if there's an issue with Max King at the moment. Physio's just run out to him and he's heading to the bench now.
Thanks, Kath. We'll certainly keep an eye on that. The star forward for St Kilda. Ball in the hands of Isaiah Wanganeen-Milera. Averaged 30 disposals a game over the last month. Hasn't kicked a goal this season. Certainly won't with that kick. Caminiti fighting hard. And the ball goes out of play.
Oh, it's disappointing because he's a very skillful player. Looks like he's getting a bit more attacking. We see Max King checking out his knee.
Yeah, I think it's his left knee he's been complaining about to the physios.
He's got tangled up in that tackle. Flynn, Clark, trying to fend off. Handball to the square. Wood is there, and it is taken over and touched.
Midfield really getting on top now. They've won 10 of 12 clearance opportunities this term, the Saints.
Witherden with the long kick in to the middle. Williams has bumped out of it nicely. Sinclair.
So smart. He was matched up against a much larger opponent, and Sinclair was there in Williams, and just edged him under. Perfect timing.
Max King getting all the testing done. Fingers crossed. He gets the all clear. Short pass in. Caminiti hands to it. Sorry, Owens knocking it away. Henry, handball, steal. Could have looked goals. Wants to set it up instead. Big pack, Membry. Knocked down. With it took too long. Crunched. Didn't really dispose of it correctly. And the Eagles can escape. Petruccelli to the wing. Wanganeen-Milera is quick. So is Cripps, but he'll just take a run and a bounce. Coolly done. Running in the wrong direction. And then the chipping ball from Webster.
Yeah, not sure that's the man you want to be taking on in a foot race. It's a kick through the middle of the ground.
The Saints transfer the footy through battle. And into the path of Wilson. Again, just not hitting the target, though. Puts him under the pump. He'll step around Cole. Straighten up to the top of the 50. Mason Wood shrugged off Witherden. Beeline by Chesser. Good ground ball take. Witherden has support. Couldn't find Williams. Back in goes Hoff. An exhausting style of footy being played by the teams. Certainly be feeling the effects. Adam Simpson just sitting up in his chair assessing things.
Got a proper contest here, Kingy.
We have. King off the ground there. Forward mix looks different.
1 point ball game. The kick goes up the wing. Taken by Bonner. Using the 15 for Steele. Got time and space enough to work it out. Bonner blasts it long. Membry there. Edwards a spoil. Straight down. Sharked by Higgins. Hasn't been his afternoon so far. Cole for Marriott.
You see Marriott, yeah, you can see him telling the boys to slow down here because once again, West Coast have lost all structure ahead of the ball. It's because of this St Kilda dominance through their midfield and inside 50s and really owning this end of the ground. They need to slow it down if they're going to move the footy.
Danger signs, knocked down. Wanganeen-Milera, he read the play perfectly, but he just couldn't get the finish. As it tumbles its way for a behind. There's Max King running around the boundary.
The pressure's enormous in this game. Both teams north of the 200 mark, which is elite in our competition, making it really difficult to move the ball.
Inside 50 numbers, though, racking up for St Kilda. I want to put some more on the score sheet. As Hill in short. Mason Wood.
He can kick this.
There's a long kick.
Yeah. Run around the man on the mark and drive this home. He's a beautiful kick of the ball, Mason Wood.
Going to pass it off and go in short to Sinclair.
Really poor by Eagles midfielders. That's where Sinclair's come from, even behind the footy. I think Sinclair's almost gone back behind the ball, and as Wanganeen-Milera has been released forward as you wanted. King, you want him in front and impacting. We've seen him have 2 shots on goal in the last 10 minutes. And this man here, using his footy smarts, has been a really smart player, added real class and quality. St Kilda's best player.
He's already equalled last year's goal tally for him of 6. As he lines them up here. Here's one of their stars, Jack Sinclair. And he stands up and delivers a goal at a crucial moment.
Well, we're starting to see St Kilda capitalise on some of this dominance this quarter. So we see Jack Sinclair and Elliot Yeo in the contest right there. Little chip here. You have to be alert. Elliot Yeo, he was your man. You're not looking at all. Hasn't got his positioning right whatsoever. And you can just see that that's not good footy at all. It's not helping out your teammates. It's not getting outside your own head. And Jack Sinclair capitalises.
I love St Kilda's selection there. Short use, just getting the ball to a spot where they can get a quality shot at goal. Down to you, Kath. How does he look, Maxie
Yeah,
King?
Max King coming back on, so great signs for the Saints. Was in a lot of discussions with the team doc, but I think he's convinced him I'm right to go. And he's heading down the forward line now.
Great to see for St Kilda.
A little late getting out there. That'll be a warning to St Kilda.
3 goals to zip in this term. St Kilda with the dominance in this quarter. Lead it by 6 points.
Harley Reid's just come back on the field. Just the 2 disposals in the third term as St Kilda have taken control of the clearances.
Winhager standing next to him again at this stoppage. As Bailey Williams gets it forward. Jones hunting after the football. Scrambling, trips, clean, pick up, away. True's out there and taken a ground. Didn't get a boot on it. Had time. Should have been a hold in the ball. Free kick. Kingy will get to that as now Ryan takes a mark inside 50. The Saints will feel hard done by as the Eagles get a set shot.
No, you got to pay that. I mean, that is the exact rule we've amended through the week, or the interpretation that's been amended. Very fortuitous here, the Eagles.
Had reasonable time to get rid of it, and then Ryan, he just steps around the man on the mark, treats him with contempt, and bangs through the goal.
Oh, you love seeing Liam Ryan in full flight, whether it's through the air or taking players on. It puts your smile to your face, whoever you support, I think. That's holding the ball. Absolutely it is, every day of the week. I think those ones, if it looks like holding the ball, it should be called. I might be being too simple there, but that's an easy one. But Liam Ryan, let's just highlight how good this is. An overcommitment on the mark, step. Thanks for coming, and straight through the middle of the goals. It's just brilliant. He hasn't preempted that. He's done that on the fly. It's great to watch.
West Coast have scored 14 times. He's been involved in 6 of them.
Scores level again. Eagles' first goal of the term. And it has been a trend in the game that they've finished the quarter stronger. Bailey Williams with the free. He'll just blast it long. Looking for a leaper. Darling with the arms up. Spills down. Ryan pushed off the kick. Tackled strong. And ball up.
13 inside 50s to 6 for St Kilda in their fashion, but West Coast starting to re-enter now.
Darling after it. Reid attacking it. Spills through. Williams. Oh, to go to soccer out there. Is it Milani, Roma, or West Coast and St Kilda?
He's so good, Liam Ryan. You have to have contact on him at all times. At these forward 50 stoppages, he just comes flying through. And it's only a metre, becomes 2, and that's the gap in the game. That's a goal. Still allowed just to sleep there. Allows his opponent to lead him into the goal square. What a player this guy is. Can he sniff out a goal?
You hear the Roma AC Milan call from Paps. If you're at home and don't know what we're talking about, last night AS Roma played AC Milan out in the middle of the pitch, and I think that would rival some of their goals. They had soccer all over it, perhaps.
Liam Ryan's got 3, and the Eagles hit back. They lead it by 6.
Boys, confirmation from the Eagles that they've made their sub. It's just a tactical sub, so Jack Williams has been the one subbed off.
Thanks, Kat. Seen True out there get involved a couple of times as we get a reset in the middle.
We've seen this a bit through this game. The last 5 minutes of the quarter, West Coast have fought back dominance. St Kilda need to really put their foot down here.
This steal. Strong tackle by Jinby and holding the ball.
Kingy.
No, it's there. It's there. You've got the ball cradled in one arm. That's the amendment they've made. Happy with that, but they've been a bit stiff today, the Saints, on a few other occasions.
Yep, agreed.
Jinby long. Ryan's looked dangerous. Board his feet again. Desperate for it. Snatched it away from Wilkie. The Eagles have missed Liam Ryan in their forward line. Missed 12 months with 2 significant hamstring injuries. Working his way back. to his best form. Yeah. Saints free kick here.
There's been a big win. Windhager's really getting under the skin of Harley Reid. He's doing a great job in this third term. He's clamped the influence of the West Coast superstar.
Wilson taking him on, and then Reid hitting back with physicality, but it's a dump tackle and a free kick to the Saints.
And he's not well. He rolled around the ground there.
Up to his feet now. We'll have to have another look. You can sense every bit of frustration in the tackle. Head hitting the turf there. Caminiti. High ball. McGovern underneath. Barris, he was already out of play.
I'm not sure. Kingy, I know you've been strong on this, mate. What sort of level of care does Harley Reid need to show here? How does he beat that?
No, I'm on the opposite side of this one. That's a tackle we have to take out of the game. That's the sling. Head hits the ground. It's everything we don't want. I'm sorry.
Are you thinking that's looking at a suspension, Kingy?
Well, if it is, it's the rising star.
Away on the burst, down. Just closed down.
It's a massive story. If that is elevated to a suspension, and we hope the young fella's all right first and foremost. Wilson's come from the ground, and Kath will keep us updated. But if he has suffered a concussion, I think the rising star favourite is in a world of pain.
Ineligible if you are suspended. A high ball with it, and it'll be one that will certainly be debated.
Well, we've already had Sam Darcy, who was the second selection from most, suspended overnight, or he's taken it's been offered the 2 weeks.
In that scenario, Kingy, what alternative do you have?
Anything but that.
So don't tackle.
Marshall forward. It's now with Duggan.
I don't think the tackle's ever the problem, it's the sling. We'll get another look at it at the moment, but you be your own judge. But you sling the head into the ground. It's exactly what we're trying to take out of the game.
Sheed up the line. It's going to be a big story out of this match. Whatever the result, here's True. He's had to fight hard to get his spot in the team. Tim Kelly out yesterday. True into the squad and in good form at waffle level.
He has. He's been their best player for well over a month. He actually suffered a concussion, as we see down on the bench. Wilson getting checked out after that tackle from Reid. Zane True's been West Coast best player, but yeah, he suffered a concussion in training. Probably he would have come into the team, and then he missed a couple of weeks. They had a bye, so they've been trying to get it back into the side for a month now. Good opportunity for him.
Knock forward. Down, tackled strongly by Chesser. And out of play. Get a chance to have another look at it.
That part's fine. It's the whip at the end. It's that part there that he's in trouble for. I know you see it differently, Scully.
I just don't think there's two actions, but I can understand everyone else's point of view as well.
Ball on the wing. Down. Henry. Hill. By a hand along the boundary. Just went past Caminiti, and Clark couldn't take it. Duggan takes them on. He should be caught. And it's a boundary throw-in.
Gee whiz.
Tried to go through them.
I think if the boundary line's not there, Liam Duggan's done holding the ball absolutely clean.
Had a bit of time.
I thought he was in trouble anyway.
Probably with you, Kingy. Ball knocked down. Jinby on the boot. Windhager. And big this term for the Saints. Caminiti! Almost. Had hands to it. Edwards couldn't clear. Owen's trying to clear a path. Barris for Gaff. And Jones. A minute to play in this third term. Late goals can be so crucial. Cole for McGovern. Eagles don't seem to be in a rush.
No, players are out on their feet right now. This has been a really tight, tough contest. We've got boards up all over the place on the bench, so I think the players know how long there is left as well.
A lot of stoppages. Taxing style of play.
It's been a big win for Ross Lyon in this term. Harley Reid held to 2 disposals and no clearances. And the Saints have taken hold of the clearance game, 15-7 in this third term.
Barris for McGovern. In they go. Flynn. Strong mark just inside the line.
He's done that well today, Matty Flynn. They've taken in control in all aspects in Kilda. 16 inside 50s to 7. So they've really dominated this and come right back into this game.
Bench has just told him how long to go. They're happy to head to three-quarter time as Ryan with a little highlight just to put the exclamation on the core. He wants to go the tall from about 95, 100 metres. He just wants to kick goals out there, Liam Ryan. Harley Reid, he's going to be the big story of that third quarter. So brilliant in the first half. Is there a potential suspension on the cards for the rising star favourite? Wilson is up and okay. But it is all set up for a big final quarter. The Eagles leading it by 5 points.
Well, WA is getting right behind Fights MND this afternoon at Optus Stadium. The WA freeze has taken place during each break in that three-quarter time break. So Mr. Cricket Mike Hussey, Fox Cricket's very own, dressed up as Ken, take the plunge. If you want to support Fights MND and the great Neil Danaher, please buy a Big Freeze 10 beanie. They are available at Coles, Bunnings, selected Coles Express stores and online. You can scan that QR code now and show your support for Neil and everyone at Fights MND. What a game we've got on our hands at the moment. West Coast, they lead by 5 points with a quarter to play, and there's plenty of storylines down here at ground level. I've seen the doc and physio surround Max King during that three-quarter time break. Potentially he could be done for the day. I'm just chasing up clarification for the Saints. And then, of course, that tackle from Harley Reid, the rising star favourite in the third term, on Darcy Wilson. My question to you, Will Schofield, David King, does that deserve a suspension?
Well, whether it deserves a suspension or not is probably not the question. It's whether or not it's a dangerous tackle, and the result is Darcy Wilson's head hits the ground. That will be suspended. I don't think there's any doubt about it. David King getting another look at it, mate.
Well, Darcy Wilson's back out in the ground, so that's a massive tick in the favour of Harley Reid. But the tackle, the action, it's a problem for him.
A lot to work out of that third term. We've got a big final quarter to go as we're underway, and the Eagles will get the first clearance through Yo. And he pumps it inside 50 for Cripps. He couldn't have asked for a better start out of the middle.
Yeah, so confirmation from the Saints boys. Max King is done with that, what seemed to be a left knee concern.
Thanks, Kath. Concern there for the Saint. He did come back on to the ground after that injury.
Oh, it's a big out. Yes, competitive key forward. He's taking the best defender all day, so they have to find another avenue towards St. Kilda.
Kicked one from the pocket on a tighter angle on the fly earlier on. Jamie Cripps has kicked a lot of these goals over his career. He is a sharpshooter.
It's almost in the exact spot he kicked his other goal from at this end of the ground. To see here, tight in the contest. A couple of threes let go, and then Elliot Yo bursting out of the middle. The 1-2 punch with him and Reid at the moment. Jamie Cripps was a bit of a back lead. There's not too much the St Kilda backline can do about that. And then the quality from where this finishes from, instead of the first time around. This is a difficult shot at goal. He finishes all the time, Jamie Cripps. Really important player for West Coast, Jamie Cripps. He plays that role that he's unrewarded, but then gets very minimal opportunities. Going to make the most of them. Goes back and nails his third goal of the game. And big for West Coast.
They've only kicked 2 goals across the last month. Jamie Cripps got 3 now this afternoon. And a couple of goals out of the centre for the Eagles as they go forward again. True bombs it long. Petruccelli in front. Webster crashed in over the top. Sinclair will mop things up, but as far as with it, and could spoil in. And the Saints just able to bring it to ground and then run it away. As Butler, the fresh legs into the action, sends it forward, but only as far as Hoff.
That's outstanding by Brady Hoff. Saw him lead his man to the footy there, almost like he's a forward, but he reacted quicker and got himself in the best position.
A tough afternoon for Jack Higgins. There's a holding free kick going Jack Darling's way.
Just starting to win a couple of these critical contests here, the Eagles.
Jack Darling, game number 289. He's one away from equaling Dean Cox, second all-time games for West Coast on 290. A long ball by Darling inside 50. Wilkie, good defensive mark.
They came off Reid there. Read it really well. Cal Wilkie, been a good defender for a long time. Great contested mark.
Margin 11. It's been tight all afternoon. Strong hands from Marshall. Oh, wanted a free kick for the fend-off, and then there's a collision between Harley Reid and the umpire. Involved in everything right now, Harley Reid, as Owens to Hill, chipping ball, and good running with the flight from Higgins.
Terrific run. He's got options here.
He's still looking around, wants a target, high ball, Wood! Taking to the sky. A perfect sit on top of Jinby, and Mason Wood can go back for St Kilda.
Great kick there from Higgins. He understands the attributes that Mason Wood has. Applied his craft to the Kangaroos as a centre-half forward type, so gifted runner, always going to be an aerial threat. Sliding wingman inside forward 50.
We got one today. Made it tough, but got it home, and things get tighter again.
Makes it really difficult to defend Mason Wood on the wing. His height, his skill. Like his skill sets are those of a forward. Even Jimmy tries to come back, but this is outstanding. Have a look at this mark. It's a brilliant mark. He's done it from the wing, so that's hard, aggressive running to help his side score. Like I said, they're going to find different avenues to goal here with Max King subbed out. He's done for the rest of the day. Mason Wood could be the man with his second goal in a pretty similar situation to his first.
Max King getting the treatment. Dan Butler into the game. Already had a touch. Ball back in the middle. Marshall with strength. Yo over the top of it. Clamped down by Steele. Marshall nicely down to Dow. Clean stoppage takeaway for the Saints. Wood, long, knocked away from Caminiti, and Edwards just attacking it. The defender taking them on, pumping it to the 50. Off the hands of Battle. Howard, back for Battle. St Kilda in support. Sinclair to Wanganeen-Milera. A roll with the 1-2. Go along the boundary line. Wood. Long, Owens, test of strength. Barris to ground, Owens kept his feet. Henry, been lively, good tackle by Witherden, who's hurt himself in the process. The Saints bob out, and Dow takes the mark. And a chance to put St Kilda in front.
Henry again, he's been so good inside that forward 50, so clever. And Dow is having some sort of day, 18 disposals so far, 9 clearances. Chance to give his team the lead.
Paddy Dow started his career at the Blues. He's hoping to make his name as a Saint, but that is a bad miss at this stage of the game.
Got to take those chances in front of the goal. He's had a great game, Paddy Dow. Did great moves over on the far wing earlier on in the game. Liked his game, but you just got to finish that goal.
Flynn just back onto the ground. And the kick goes in his direction. He gets hands to it. It's out of play.
Yeah, Matt Flynn started each quarter on the bench, and then he comes on and tries to make an impact. St Kilda have certainly started almost every quarter on top of the Eagles, so and how fit he is.
Had a heap of footy to start this quarter, the Saints. Ball's knocked down, Steele. Just got it away in time. Marshall dove on top of it. Jinby trying to get it out. Jones. And a push in the back, the call. It'll go the Eagles' way. Jinby's long kick. Williams there. Reid was in front. Wilkie. Strongest of them all. Trying to get it to the boundary. True. Takes it over.
He's been huge behind the ball today, Cal Wilkie. That's the 10th intercept so far. 7 of those have been marks. Kept them afloat down back.
Paddy Dow with the 9 clearances. Harley Reid still stuck on 7, which he had at half-time. That tag went on from Winhager. Steele, ball dropped out. Winhager just went in to find it. Just slipped a touch as he went to kick. McGovern with the shove. Gaff. Barris. Butler's got him.
Well, what the Winhager move inside has done, yes, it's shut down Harley Reid, but it's released Jack Sinclair as a backman. He's really impacted this game in the second half.
Reid's currently playing forward. True. Went the fend. In trouble. Holding the ball. And advantage will be taken by the Saints. Henry goes quickly into the pocket. Higgins there. Hoff did enough. Border ground. Shoveled up. Owens, Caminiti, Butler, look out. Duggan, Higgins, kept it alive. The snap. And the Saints are on the march.
He's been huge in this last term, Jack Higgins. It's his 4th disposal. 3 of them become scores, and of course that's a big goal. Just fought the fight. Look at the recovery. Up and gone. And as all good small forwards do, his first movement back to goal. Get aggressive, get involved. Butler was important. Owens got the ball to ground against McGovern. Great play. What a finish.
Seriously impressive from this Saints side. Jack Higgins is matched up on Brady Hoff. Most dangerous small forward every week. And yeah, just the fight and grit required to play away from home like the Saints are doing right now. Seriously impressive stuff.
That's their last 3 coming into this one, St Kilda. Fair bit of pressure on the club. They've hit the front in the final turn. Still a long way to go. Jimmy and Clark doing battle at this stoppage. Will be held in again.
Watching Windhagen and Reid. He's doing a power of work here, Reid.
Flynn down, True. Flynn again, just about threw it out. Steele. And sent it forward for the Saints. Tumbling footy. Edwards gathered. Held in. Nice quick whistle. We get a ball up.
Zane True, the sub for West Coast, is right inside here as well.
Flynn down the throat of Duggan. Blast the ball to the wing. Darling in a wrestle with Battle. Neither of them went for the footy. Sinclair. Long ball. Memory. Hasn't had a big afternoon, but a big chance here to send them forward to Henry, who has been busy.
There he has. He's going to look to pass it off here.
He goes into the hot spot. Dangerous ball. Higgins looks lively. Chesser shoveled it out. Duggan, Saints pressure, terrific. No easy footy to be won. 11 tackles inside 50 for the Saints. Pressure right up here. Duggan, Cole, True, Flynn, awkwardly finds Jones.
Well, that was the best result there, I think, for Flinny. The miss hit one, sideways to a teammate.
And now some dash from Jones. Too much on the kick, though, for Reid. But it hits the turf. He goes after Battle. Numbers win out. Webster to Dow. What a good game. Steps Darling. By hand, Winhager. Now to Clark. On the boot. Kick smothered. Sheed was good. Clark wins it back. Saints go forward. And waiting to accept a fumble from Wood. The run, the carry, Hill, the vision to Owens.
That is unbelievable by Brad Hill. How he has even seen Owens. 2 players on him. I mean, Mitch Owens was the best option, of course, but you still got to be able to see him. And even if you do see him, you've got to be able to execute it. Watch how good this kick is. This is just class. Wow.
Mitch Owens hasn't had a scoring shot yet today. Big kick on his boot. Hits the post. Saints fans thought it was through. Eagles wasting no time. McGovern out of defence. Williams the target. Caminiti brought it down. Clark, Wanganeen-Milera had support in battle. Steps around Darling. Will thump it long again. High into the pocket. Membry's there, but McGovern can't revert back to the old habits of just blasting long. The Saints are winning all the footy in this final quarter. Battle to Wanganeen-Milera. Changed his mind a couple of times. Long, Owens, Barris. 2 intercept marks in a row to the Eagles defenders.
Yeah, 2 long entries, high ball entries, suits Barris and suits McGovern. When they've been dangerous is when they've lowered their eyes and found that intermediate target.
He's had quite a few today, Barris. Those intercept marks. Williams dropped it though. Caminiti to Dow. They go inside 50 again. This one more dangerous to the square. But Edwards, 3 intercept marks in a row to the 3 Eagle keybacks.
You can't go into this sort of form late in the game. St Kilda are all over West Coast. You've got to find a connection.
Williams thumps it down. Boundary line looms. And it rolls out and over.
They've taken 11 marks. Intercept marks in their D50 today, 5 at the other end. That's the gap in the game. The Saints have lifted the bar in this last term, have taken complete control. Got to get it onto the scoreboard now.
Both coaches racking up the phone bill, getting the messages down to the boundary. 10 minutes to play. It's been tight all afternoon. Winhager, Steele. And the pocket opened up for him. We go high inside 50 again. Membry with the flight. Had eyes for the footy.
And I think he's got a case there, Cole. It did look as if there was front-on contact from, I think it was Wood pushing back to allow Membry some space. But what a mark. Eyes on the ball at all times. You just see Wood there come back and make contact on the Eagle defender. But that's a great mark.
Just his 8th disposal of the afternoon. Yet to hit the score sheet. It's been an accurate kick through his career. 6 in the VFL last week. Back on the big stage and booting through a big goal. St Kilda extend their lead.
They've absolutely deserved every bit of this, St Kilda. They've been challenged and asked to go to a new level, and they have. Repeat entries. Look, sometimes those frees get paid, sometimes they don't. Who cares? You've got to move on. And it's just a great mark by Tim Membry. He worked hard from this scrimmage work here and executes in front of goal. That's what they needed. They need to kick a goal. And they do it. It goes back, kicks truly, 9 points in the lead.
Eagles have won the last 4 out of the middle. Big challenge. Can Harley Reid get himself back into this game? They're crying out for the young star now.
9-point margin. Saints' biggest lead of the game. Huge clearance here. Williams there. Marshall as well. Clark throws it on the boot. Bouncing ball. Membry. Good pickup to Owens. Gets past Duggan on the fly. Awkward kick. Wafting ball to the square. Mason Wood. He's become a target inside 50. Played most of the day on the wing. Has rolled forward to be a threat. Just 1 goal coming into today. And now he's got 3. The Saints are looking for a star up forward in the absence of Max King, and it's Mason Wood making his mark.
Well, we knew they had to find an avenue to goal. No Max King out there. They got to shuffle things around. So it's a great play here by Owens. Puts it to a really dangerous position, and nobody by backline from West Coast. And Mason Wood, he's a really strong marking player. This is what he does really well. Many goals this year, perhaps, but he puts his hand up and says, I'll be the man to deliver goals for St Kilda. Been a great game on the wing from Mason Wood. 3 goals he's kicked. He's gone forward now. St Kilda put their foot on the throat.
Just holding the ball in their forward half. As Yo tries to get it out of the middle. Clark in his return has been important. Yo slow to get back to his feet. Witherden. Gaff. Back for Witherden. And now for Reid. Been well held in the second half. Wants to take off. Driving ball low for Marek. Good delivery for the leading forward. Reid wants it around the back. Marek looking for a target. He goes long. It's up for Darling, almost. Marshall took it out of his hands with a big mark in defence. It's called a play on. Now battle. Hill. Oh, bumped by Cole. Didn't tackle. And the Saints can run it out of defence. Wilson. Chipped the ball. And Membry, who's starting to have an impact.
St Kilda out here at the back.
They send it long, but well read by McGovern.
That was just 3-on-1. McGovern had to cut that off.
Another intercept by the Eagles defenders. Aggressive through the middle of the ground. Ryan did just enough, and now he wants to take them on with a run, a very long run, but he kept it moving to the 50, and Yo from distance. High ball, Darling.
Well done, Jeremy McGovern. Complete bravery to leave his man, leave the outnumber behind. If they get through there, the Saints, one more disposal, one more possession. It's a goal, a strolling goal to St Kilda, but he cuts it off at the pass and away they go. Aggressive kick into the corridor to Ryan. Big finish here. Need this.
Luke, swoop, pull.
All the kids watching out there.
Jack Darling
Get it done.
goes the double knot. In the biggest of moments.
That's a long tie the shoelace.
Keeps his composure. But it's all on the set shot. And the clock continue to run then.
It's getting out of the banana on the right foot here.
Battle just about fell over on the mark. That's what's presented to Jack Darling. And he curls it through nicely. The Eagles still alive.
Well, Jack Darling certainly knew what he was doing. He was composed. We saw how composed he was tying his shoelaces, and then he went back and he knew what he wanted to do. So I think you'd see a lot of forwards go a little closer and snap that on the left, but to go all the way back, Jeremy McGovern left his man to make that mark, and then he took it on through the middle of the ground. Liam Ryan gets on the end of this. It's aggressive ball movement. What a kick. Look, it's a 3-on-1 there as well, so a couple of contests won by West Coast. Elliot Yo's probably having a shot at goal there, let's be honest. Jack Darling gets back, takes a mark, and then knew his routine. Really smart footy from Jack Darling, the senior player.
Couple of goals for Darling. The noise lifting. 7 minutes to play and a free kick. There's the second warning for the Saints, so it's straight out of the middle for the Eagles as Williams blasts it long. Good to ground. Flynn was forward, Howard. To Clark, lost it. Jermaine Jones went the body contact. Williams, he's up after it. Witherden, tumbling ball. In front, Flynn, hands to it. Jones went back in again. Ross, Ryan, he wanted a high tackle. That's a tough footy to be won as Bonner blasted out of the fence, and McGovern. They're just about on world record pace for the intercepts, the defenders for the Eagles. As they go long inside 50 again. 3 Saints up. Yo weighted down. Throws it on the boot. Heads towards goal. Rushed through by Hill. He gets back to do the defensive work.
Now we look ahead of the footy. St Kilda have lost their structure now. They're trying to defend behind it. See if Jack Sinclair and Brad Hill want to move this quickly. They do.
They show a fair bit of the footy to Cole. Wilson, Wanganeen-Milera, composed kick. Marshall,
Wow.
Now they're out. Memory on the burst. Runners everywhere. He'll chip it in short.
Yes.
And too short. Mason Wood lines him up. Oh, McGovern! He's playing them on his own back there as he's run down. His kick affected. Windhager away to steal. The Saints will get another chance.
He's out of tickets, McGovern, and Wood is running him into the ground. He's working him over. An elite runner is Mason Wood. Look at McGovern behind the ball, searching for oxygen.
The last entry from Membry was just a touch shallow, otherwise they would have had a shot. This one he has to go long. Edwards knocks it down. Saints in a good spot. Edwards took them on. He's held. And it's the ball up.
Yeah. I'll cough that one up. There's an Eagles defender, top of the goal square. Great forward pressure by St Kilda.
5 minutes to play. Almost 50,000 in the ground. Marshall down. Caminiti tackled, dispossessed. Clark wrenched to the turf. Another ball up.
Discipline here. And free kicks if you're a defensive member of the West Coast Eagles, back six.
Tense moments, deep in attack for the Saints. Ball knocked down. Tough one to win. Edwards left it behind. Yo, away. Duggan, boundary.
You can rush it there as a player. Sometimes easier up here in the box with 5 minutes left. Harley Reid stuck on the bench, wants to get back on, impact this contest.
Yeah, he's been itching to get back on, and he is now.
Not true. Had to run about 100 metres to get there. The crowd noticed their young stars back on. Williams, a big slap in the ruck. Down to Yo. West Coast have to move it. Cole, long ball. Ryan thought about going the fly. Wanganeen-Milera. Reid crunches through. He took them on and holding the ball.
Big game tackle there.
Gotta be careful with the chat as well. Taken down by two. He's trying to go through them.
A lot of prior opportunity there. Bit stiff.
Wanganeen-Milera places it nicely for Windhager.
Smart footy here from St Kilda. Should get a deep entry here they can defend behind.
Taking their time, and he's put down. It'll be a down-the-ground free kick. The frustrations from the young star boiling over on the tagger. Not much in it, but late contact, and a down-the-ground free kick goes against Harley Reid.
Let's have a look back on the replay. Let you make your mind up at home for yourself. That's a free kick or not.
There's not a lot of contact in it, but didn't need to do it. And the free kick goes the Saints' way, and it's Mason Wood who helps himself to a fourth and perhaps a match-winning lead for the Saints.
Well, it may or may not be a free kick, but they've missed a few in favour of the Saints through the course of the afternoon, so maybe it's the ultimate square up. There's just no need to do it, though, Scully. I understand what you're saying. It's probably not overly aggressive. Half a flop, if you like. But the price is too big. The penalty is too great. There's no need to do it for Harley Reid. If you're the West Coast Eagles, that does not help the cause at all.
Four goals for Mason Wood, along with 22 disposals. It's been exceptional. Equal leading disposal winner for the Saints to go along with the four majors. With just 4 minutes to go, it's a 14-point lead to St Kilda.
How good's Mason Wood been? What a move that's been going forward, impacting the game.
Flynn, Windhager, scrambling ball. Henry with pace, coughed it up to Hoff. Good tackle, Wilson, spun him right around. He's given the time to get rid of it. Duggan. Out for Yo. Long towards Reid, was strong on Howard. Wilkie been a strong hand all afternoon. And Wanganeen-Milera to Wilson.
Such composure there from Wanganeen-Milera. That pressure coming down at him. Finds the mark, lets St Kilda set up.
And Wilson gives it up. Out of bounds on the full.
What's been really impressive in this second half from St Kilda, their execution, which we're critical of in the first half.
This line watching on as Williams launching. Ball hits the deck. Wanganeen-Milera dispossessed. Marshall's down. He copped a knee to the back of the head. That'll be a watch too. Yes, it's out of play. Maybe a concussion concern. We'll see for Rowan Marshall, who's getting back to his feet.
Yeah, this is Bailey Williams going for a mark here. Got two hands to it, but a big knee to the head. And then Rowan Marshall stays out there.
Doctor talking to him now.
Should maybe off the ground.
Wait to check.
I think the doctor's having a conversation with the umpire.
The doctor's trying to say now and check on Rowan Marshall, who's given the thumbs up. Is that a situation where the player should be overruled to go and have a check?
100%.
He's given the thumbs up because he wants to stay in the contest. The doctor's been told to clear out. Flynn, down. Gaff, away. Yo, goes a torp, launches a spiral. Gee, just a hope kick in the end. He got plenty of purchase. He's had a few pings today.
He has 27 disposals for Elliot Yeo. He's done everything he can to get the Eagles back in this game, but like I said, the execution and under pressure, St Kilda have been better today. That's what's been so impressive.
And Owens leads up.
Kicks like that, right, you have to find a mark. It's not a bomb down the line. You hit a target and then you get field position.
Barris with another intercept. It's quite the heap today. As they fire it back inside 50, shallow entry. Owens has gone back to help. Duggan through. Cripps taken the ground by Bonner. It didn't have the footy. So 2 minutes to play.
He's loved them from here, perhaps all day. He's been a dead eye. Free kick was there. Just took him before the ball arrived. Overly aggressive.
Cripps never really took possession. Has been kicking them well. 3 before this kick. He goes too far to the left. The time ticks off the clock.
Hasn't made the distance there. No one on the line for West Coast.
Saints have got this well in control now. Minute and a half to play. Owens. Strong mark again.
Just can't understand how Rowan Marshall's still on the field at the moment.
Be involved here. Awkwardly threw the hands at it. And then Yo is tackled over the line.
Should it be taken out of his hands, Kingy?
Well, we stopped the game for a blood rule, and they're assessing now with his head trauma, and he's still out there. The game should be stopped. He should be off the field now.
Ball tap down. Flynn down. Reid. Hill stood up well in the tackle. Marshall's kick. Bouncing ball. Down and it knocked away. Cole. Witherden. Oh, crunched. Spear tackle back the other way.
Great tackle. Jack Steele. That is textbook. You speak about dangerous tackles. That's not dangerous. That's just tough and big, hard.
A steel clamp thrown on Andrew Gaff. They really clamped them down, the Saints, in this second half. Impressive the way they've been able to fight their way over the top. Just 24 seconds remaining in it. Flynn, Steele, not giving an inch. Handball by Witherden. Duggan kept it in. Webster, and how to play.
That's what St Kilda have been today, tougher and harder, and wanted it a bit more through the contest and then field position. They've set up well all day behind the footy. Made some really good moves in the coaching box as well.
Sheed
The move of Windhager to Reid. I mean, Reid's had 3 disposals in the second half. He had a lot to going through his mind regarding the potential for a report, but held to 3. Massive work, massive roll by Windhager.
Marshall on the boot. The Saints head across to the west and take a gutsy victory, running over the top of the Eagles just to relieve a touch of the pressure that's been building around St Kilda. It's the Saints by 14 points. Simpson with a little shake of the head. David King, St Kilda really tested. West Coast led it by 15 points. And the Saints were just able to run over the top in that second half.
Yeah, kicked the first goal the last quarter, got out to an 11-point lead, and you thought maybe this is it. Maybe it's getting all too hard for St Kilda, but gee, they worked hard and they just found a way in the end. Mason Wood was the reason that they got this result. There's no doubt about that.
And standing by, Kath Lockton is with the man who kicked 4 goals today, Mason Wood.
Yeah, one of the stars of the show, Mason Wood. Congratulations. You just said to me that was hard fought.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, pressure of performance has been heavy on the club at the minute, and just to see the boys really grit the teeth and get to work and execute the things we wanted to, which we haven't been able to do recently. So, yeah, hopefully this is something we can snowball form from.
Is it relief today? I mean, as you mentioned, you've copped it a fair bit in the media over on the East Coast the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I feel like obviously we had some close losses at the start of the year, and it's one of those things that if you just get a few of them, what can happen? And, yeah, like I said, snowball a bit of that form, and we've seen teams do that this year. So, you know, hopefully this is the start for us.
You really stood up in that last quarter. Tell me, what was going through your mind 3/4 time when you realised that Max King was done for the day?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's great flexibility that we have in the team, that I can go forward and, you know, want to go, I guess, a bit smaller. You know, we just had the focus of trying to bring the ball to ground, and the rest will happen because our pressure was coming from Dan Butler off the bench. So that seemed to work really well, and, you know, we were able to capitalise.
How'd you find those battles? Because Barras and McGovern, they're such key weapons for the Eagles.
Oh, I got down there, I said, can you stop marking everything, Barras? So, yeah, they're absolutely stars of the game, and they did so well today. And I think when we can get the ball to ground against those guys, half the job's done. So, yeah, kudos to our forwards today.
What did Barras say when you said, can you stop marking it?
He said, it's good when they clunk, and I said, they always clunk, mate. Don't give me that.
In terms of role players from your team, what about Marcus's job on Harley Reid, who was really electric in that second quarter, needed to be shut down?
You know, they were probably on top of us from clearance because of Harley, so Windy did a great job, and I think he ended up going a half forward and didn't have a big impact in the second half. So he's a star of the game. He's going to be an absolute superstar, and got me an absolute ripper in the second quarter, I think. So, but yeah, like that's the flexibility of our team that we have, that guys can go in and do a role and get the job done in the second half.
Well done to you and the team.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
A 14-point victory to the Saints, and I mentioned it there, Kath, in the interview, Marcus Windhager, the role he was able to do on Harley Reid in the second half was exceptional.
Yeah, it was. It was twofold, as I mentioned. Yes, he shut down Harley Reid, West Coast best player in that first half, and held him to absolutely nothing in that second half. But it also allowed Jack Sinclair to go a bit further behind the footy, had some class. He paired really well with Messiah Wanganeen-Milera to get that ball movement going. We heard from Ross Lyon at half-time, and they were the two things he said. And to shut down the contested ball at the source, which was Harley Reid, and then they wanted to start using the footy a bit better from their back half, and they did both with just one move. So I think that's a masterclass from Ross Kingy.
Oh, the response from the Saints midfield was notable. I mean, you look at half-time, it was 25-17. The clearances in favour of the Eagles, and post-half-time, the Saints have smashed them. 26-14, Harley Reid a non-factor due to the tagging role of Windhager. It's one thing to put the magnet next to Harley Reid, and it's another to get the job done. That's probably the best game this young fella's played for the club at this stage of his career. Wanganeen-Milera was electric with his run and carry and his desire to be involved. I just thought that the way that they moved down back was significant. Wilkie probably played his best game for the year, 13 intercepts, 7 intercept marks, and he had his hands full down there. And Liam Ryan was pretty difficult to contain. Darling had some moments, but when Reid went forward, Wilkie did the job on him. And in the end, the Saints leaders were significant. Paddy Dow had 9 clearances today. I mean, this is exactly what they've been craving. Someone to take a hold of the midfield clearance game. It's an all-round performance, really, on the road. Probably what we expected St Kilda to do more regularly this year, but they found a way today in trying circumstances. And I thought their tackle pressure was significant as well. Didn't always get the reward from the uppies, but they kept fronting up. It was a very high-pressure game.
Paddy Dow with career high clearances for him. You can see the Saints with the 2 Queensland teams in the next couple of weeks, the Suns and then the Lions before their bye. The other big storyline out of this evening's game is Harley Reid, and what will be looked at very closely is this tackle on Wilson. It's the slinging action. Wilson tries to take him on, and then Reid does sling him to the turf. David King, you're of the opinion that this is looking like a week at least.
Well, just talking to those that know, I mean, Wilson doesn't have to necessarily be concussed or injured for this to be careless conduct with medium impact. It would constitute a one-match suspension. Now, we don't want that to be the case, but we don't want concussion in our game either. So you've got to choose your path as an industry. I think we've made that well known. That's a no-no in our game, and unfortunately, it looks like this weekend we will have the 2 favourites for the Rising Star ineligible.
Yeah, Sam Darcy and Harley Reid, both, you would think, be fronting the MRO. Darcy's already been handed his 2-match ban. I think it might be a long night at the tribunal on Tuesday, whichever way it goes. But St Kilda, they will just be enjoying the fact they're able to go away from home and claim the points as they try to get their season back on track. A 14-point win over the Eagles in Perth.
The Saints by 14 points. They snap a 3-game losing streak over in the West, and it's a big game here tonight. Super Saturday. Welcome on Fox Footy.